Yo, 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 it's another podcast with your boys Bill, James, and Tig'S. Excellent adventure. Today, we're going to talk about...
Team LeBron James takes out my Pacers in Game 7. Sorry, Pacers.
Round 2 of the NBA playoffs preview.
And we're going to talk about the NFL and Baker Mayfield getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns. It's all happening right here on the #1 podcast in all of sports, you bitches. Get with it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. That's right! You're good! Because it's another fucking podcast!
Yeah.
For all you motherfucking clowns, you weak-ass bitches, and you sorry-ass niggas, guess what? It's the best motherfucking podcast in all of the motherfucking nation, the #1 podcast in the motherfucking world, in the universe, and in your motherfucking house, including the one you do at home.
Wait, the house that you do at home?
No, the podcast.
Oh, the podcast you do at home. I got lost in all the fun.
Don't get lost in the sauce, baby. We're here with your boy Eric, James.
Hi.
What's happening,
Been
people?
on vacation from the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
You know,
Took a little week off, guys.
it was cool. You guys do
Bill,
anything interesting?
Bill was catching some rays in Florida.
I got a tan.
He was partying with Dwayne Wade.
Had some white man rub on my back.
What the fuck?
Excuse me?
Oh, you got a massage.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. You got it right. I got me a massage. It was weird. First time I got a massage by a dude.
Really?
Maybe in 10 years. Yeah.
I've never gotten a massage in my entire life.
Oh, man. What the fuck,
Your shit
man? You're
must be
missing out.
Fucked up. Your back must be all kinds of fucked up.
It's extremely fucked up now.
Especially since you got in a car accident.
So while you were in Florida, or no, you got back, but I got in an accident yesterday for everyone listening. Some lady hit my truck.
We're not
T-boned me.
Yeah. Don't let too much of your legal situation out there, because
Well, I'm just saying, it's her fault.
he is looking at me kind of weird. I don't know if that's because the microphone's posted that way or is it because his neck's fucked up.
The mic's very strange here.
But his neck might be fucked up.
My neck is definitely fucked up. So is my back. It's all
Do
fucked
you need
up.
to move it right here? The mic?
I think I need to. Oh, here we go.
Move that shit out of the way. Just
that's
move all
the
that shit
difference.
out.
That's
Yeah,
the
just sit
difference.
down, man. Relax.
I'm trying.
right.
I had a rough
So,
couple days.
the NFL
The
draft,
NFL.
baby. Are you ready for some football?
It's a Monday night football.
I've been waiting all day
Man, I remember when I was
Sunday
little.
night.
I remember listening to that when I was little, and I would used to set up like pillows in my front door had like this little area, so I would set up pillows as if it was like the lineman. The little area was the end zone, and I would always pretend I clearly remembered being Emmitt Smith and having my little football and diving over the pillows onto more pillows, like I was jumping over the line every time that song came on before the game. It was playing in my living
It
room.
must have been very exhausting for your mother.
You should have played.
I don't even know.
football.
I don't even think she knew that I was doing it.
She was like,
Oh, I
gotta
did play
keep putting
football,
up these
but I played
fucking-
defense in high school.
I gotta
Oh,
keep
shit,
putting
okay.
up these goddamn pillows. That's what she was like. That's what she was upset about.
She's like, Eric, stop it. That's not how I felt. But she
ruining
will
all the
never
pillows.
listen.
That was
to
a
this
great
podcast.
impersonation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was great.
Okay, so the NFL draft happened.
So,
So the Browns were the first pick in the draft.
I hate to be, and I told you so, but
Bill told
fucking told you, motherfucking haters out there.
What'd you
that
tell
are
us?
gonna be not you guys.
Baker
Oh.
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
I didn't think they were going to do it. I remember you saying it, and I was like,
Misinformation. Don't believe the reports out there during the draft.
I mean, just because they did it
Misinformation.
doesn't make it right.
Oh no,
It
it's
is
right.
the Browns again.
Oh, it's right. It's right. He's the best in the draft. He's the best quarterback.
Statistically, his stats are ridiculous.
This is just like what people tried to say about Deshaun Watson last year.
Yeah, so Baker
Tried to do the
Mayfield.
same thing. Try to
in
make
his-
it like this guy is not good enough.
Well, okay, but there are a lot of guys that have great college careers that don't pan out. Johnny Manziel. So Baker Mayfield was being compared to Manziel, which they're very different quarterbacks. Manziel relied a lot on his feet, where Baker Mayfield actually can sit in the pocket and throw in a spread offense, by the way. So we'll see how he adapts to the NFL. He did throw for 4,627 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 6 picks.
43.
Very impressive.
Say that last one again.
43 touchdowns and 6 picks.
Baker
In
Mayfield.
2 years, Baker Mayfield threw for 83 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Not to mention a little cherry on top, he also rushed for 11 touchdowns in those 2 years. Impressive. Very, very impressive.
So why does everyone hate this pick?
He's 6 feet tall. He's extremely cocky. There was this big game where he was like grabbing his dick towards the other
What?
team, so there was attitude problems.
Oh, shit.
I like it
this
'cause
guy.
it reminds me. Mine reminds me of the Miami Hurricane
I find
from
it
the
hard
80s and 90s.
to pass on some of these other quarterbacks
see.
that are 6'4", 6'5", still putting up very good stats. Like
Fuck
if you
them
look at
quarterbacks, what did they do?
So Sam Darnold was one of the quarterbacks
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
discussion
yeah.
of
Let's
being
bring up these.
pickers.
I'm
So
glad you got the
Sam
stats.
Darnold's a 6'4" USC QB, which throws red flags because there's not any really USC QBs that have had success in the NFL.
Except Carson Palmer. He's the
And
only
that's
one.
so that gives you an idea of how successful
Was
USC
he drafted in the
quarterbacks are.
90s
Yeah, well,
or the early 2000s?
early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, 2003, 2002.
Yeah. So Sam Darnold at USC in this last year threw for 4,143 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 13 picks. Not nearly close to Baker Mayfield.
Man.
But if you look at him,
If I look at him, I see a dude who folds under pressure. As soon as he keeps getting hit, if you watch any of the games, when he gets hit, he throws picks.
right.
He's you want that guy? Then pick Jake Coker off of a roster
Jake
line.
Coker?
Yeah, exactly. He ain't playing no games nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback that you just drafted.
So there's two other QBs. Josh Rosen, who got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals from UCLA, another 6'4" guy. His last year, 3,746 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks. Still not bad.
Solid.
Not Baker Mayfield stats, not Heisman level. And then there's Josh Allen.
Yes.
Who, in my opinion,
First of all, the first Josh you mentioned
Josh Rosen.
is fucking garbage. Hot BFI garbage.
They looked good in the combine, whatever that means. It doesn't mean anything.
He didn't look good
It
on
doesn't mean
film,
anything.
on tape,
Yeah.
game tape.
So
not to me.
The Joshes are really who I saw in the combine of the amount of the combine that I watched.
But
which I
Josh
don't watch too
Allen?
much. Josh Allen was my favorite in the combine.
Okay.
He's got a quick release, great arm, 6'5". He's a cocky motherfucker too.
Did he grab his nuts?
He didn't grab his nuts, but I'm sure he had grabbed his nuts at some point. Maybe just not on television.
Josh Allen should have been the second quarterback taken in the draft.
Where did he end up?
The
At Arizona.
Josh Allen was drafted by the Bills. Josh Rosen
was drafted by
the
Arizona.
Cardinals. The Bills might have the best quarterback in the draft, possibly.
No.
Nice.
We don't know how these guys are going to pan
I'll
out.
tell you why he won't be looking like the best quarterback in the draft. Because he just got drafted to a place
Go
that's
Kevin Love.
so fucking cold.
Sorry. We have the game on. So there's a minute 11 left. Cleveland's down by 2. And some nonsense with the refs, I'm sure, just happened because the refs have been terrible in the playoffs.
He just got hit with the worst possible situation. He got hit with the
talking about
Orenthal James
Josh
curse.
Allen?
Yeah, because he's gonna go from sunny California his whole life to fucking Buffalo Bills.
It's not ideal for
he's
anyone
the-
to play in Buffalo.
I'm telling you,
He's
not
the starter, though, right? They got rid of
They got rid of Tyrod.
He's going to be competing with A.J. McCarron,
That's right.
who has been dying and waiting and learning.
For a moment.
So Josh Allen might not even start this year, which, if they're smart,
Josh
he won't
Allen
start
might
this year.
not start ever. The NFL doesn't want him to really
you know who
play because
else-
he's a problem child like Colin Kaepernick. That's why his draft stock went way down.
Except he's
That's why
super white, and they'll
Well,
never ever ban
I'm
him
just
from the
telling you.
NFL.
I'm just telling you what the reports were before he got drafted.
Yeah. So
He's very
statistically,
he's very politically
in college, his stats weren't that great.
Right.
But he is your ideal NFL QB size, and he's got a great arm and a quick release, and he is your
he-
stereotypical pocket QB.
Is he the guy that was throwing 90-yard touchdowns in the combine?
No, Sam Darnold was
okay,
the one
okay.
throwing 70-yard passes.
Yeah.
Which is
so
insane.
was what's his name? Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, we saw what happened with him. So
For
that
one
doesn't mean
knee.
anything.
Rest in
Rex
peace.
Grossman, I'm pretty sure, can throw a
me tell you-
70-yard pass.
Let me
too.
tell you, I watch a lot of
That being
college
said, he did go
football.
to Super Bowl.
I watch a lot of college football. Okay. I've put my jobs in jeopardy watching college football. Okay. There is no fucking way in hell you're going to tell me that Baker Mayfield is not the best quarterback in the draft because he just looks better on tape, on film. And he's got a lot of weapons to play with in Cleveland. They're going to have a good offensive line.
Can
They're
he
going to
learn
have
the
a good
offense?
running back.
Is he okay with not starting his first year in the NFL?
He is. Well, it doesn't matter if he's okay with it or not. See, that's another thing. This ain't college. People can't go nowhere. He's got a contract he's going to sign because he's going to be at a Browns quarterback for 3 years unless he gets cut.
Is he going to start?
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor's going to
damn
start.
it.
So there is.
They're
a-
going to compete for the jobs, though.
I mean-
if he gets, like as the coach said, if he gets a good understanding of the offense, then of course there's no reason to not start him. But if he's not, he said we have a plan.
LeBron James just tied the
Jesus
game with 30 seconds
Christ.
left. This is why this is hard to do the podcast during the games.
Oh, this is why it's good.
Can we live this 24 seconds?
Yeah, we're gonna live this
Well,
24 seconds.
Well, it just froze, I know, so we can't.
Oh no, we're gonna live it. We should probably live it like 3
19
seconds behind
seconds.
everybody
DeMar
else.
DeRozan at the top of the key, and they call a timeout.
Timeout. Great. Just for
See?
us.
Yeah, and also the 45
so-
seconds is gonna be two and a half minutes.
Yeah,
And
so we can back to the combine.
With,
Back to the draft.
with college QBs going to the NFL, I can't judge them on their college careers and how they're going to pan out because what they have to do is learn a whole new offense and type of style and a different level of playing.
They have to play against NFL players.
Right, so we don't know which one of these QBs is actually going to pan out. Carson Wentz, everyone passed on because they didn't think he was going to pan out, and he ended up being one of the best. Deshaun Watson, everybody passed on. The Browns passed on both of these guys.
now let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Deshaun Watson has in common with Baker Mayfield. He's been in the college football playoffs, which is full of NFL players. They're not in the NFL at that point in time, but they're going. It's full of defensive backs, defensive linemen, running backs, offensive linemen, wide receivers, cornerbacks that are going to the NFL, period.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield has played against them. Deshaun Watson played against them, and when they get to the NFL, it's little to no transition. They're playing pro-style offenses in these schemes because a lot of the college offense has gone
Well, Baker Mayfield was playing
to
the
the
spread,
NFL.
right?
Yeah,
His
but
entire career.
they use the spread. What do you think they use in New England? What
Look
do
at
you
Jared
think they
Goff.
used in-
Jared
in-
Goff
in-
ran
in-
out of a shotgun his entire career, so he had major issues calling plays off the line in that first
So did-
year.
so did-
and there was
so did-
Jeff Fisher, so that didn't help him. But
A lot of
We-
players.
but we
a lot
watched
of
him
players,
struggle.
A
We
lot
watched
of
him
players played underneath this. Didn't play underneath the center in college and had success.
Toronto
going
just
overtime.
missed the last shot. There's 0.6 seconds
Going
left.
overtime.
No,
There's no
Point
point
six-
in talking
there's
about
point-
this. This is not gonna.
We watched a shot be made with 0.4 seconds before. That's all you need, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's no point. in
Let's
us
see if
talking
LeBron James will hit this shot.
There's no point in us talking about this because this game will be over by the time we put this out.
That's true. And we'll just talk about it. Anyways,
Bill.
just edit all
we'll
this
just,
out, Bill.
We'll just talk about after the game goes off. We'll
Anyways,
talk about it.
okay.
Bill, what is your bust or legit player, Baker Mayfield?
Legit player.
Okay.
And he's going to be with the Browns, so I wouldn't say they're going to go to the Super Bowl or anything like that. I wouldn't go out on that limb. But what I would say is they could be in the playoffs next year. Not talking about even with Baker.
The Browns?
The Browns could be in the playoffs next year with Tyrod Taylor alone. Tyrod Taylor took an offense, a depleted offense, no offense in the Bills, and a no defense to the playoffs. In
They
a
did.
tough division.
They did.
So I
did.
think that they could do that,
Eric, Baker Mayfield,
Yeah.
bust or legit player?
If the Browns didn't draft Baker Mayfield, I don't think he would be a bust. But since they drafted him, I think Baker Mayfield is going to be a bust.
The Browns
Because
effect.
that's what happens with the Browns every time. And every time they draft a guy like this, everyone's super confident. Everyone was super confident in Johnny Manziel to be a
This
great.
is the guy.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy.
Everybody
now.
was not confident in Johnny Manziel.
Okay,
there was
let me
a lot of
rephrase
people.
that.
There was
They
people
were
sucking his
excited.
dick.
All of the Browns
There was people
fans
sucking
were
his dick.
very,
There was
very
people-
excited. All of my friends that are Browns
Right.
fans that have been following this guy, following the draft, and
As
know
they
like way more
should.
about these guys than I do, were super excited and confident that Johnny Manziel was going to pan out.
Look, those people are delusional. My friends, Cleveland friends, you're delusional. Because if you thought Johnny, but you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be.
Oh my!
Okay. You're I don't know why you guys thought you were about to watch LeBron James in the regulation shot.
backdoor cut.
But
I don't know
Bill,
why anybody thought they were about to see that.
so now
Happened.
LeBron has
hold this.
missed that shot. Wow, there's our boys from fucking Dirty Sports.
Right. Anyway. Yeah, we're gonna have to edit. I'm gonna have to edit all of this out.
All this has to be edited out.
But I'm not
Baker
worried.
Mayfield, I mean, ideal situation to me for the Browns is Tyrod Taylor is the QB that they think he is, which hopefully he's not the QB that we've seen him be, but he's better now. And Baker Mayfield doesn't play for 2 years. And he learns this offense, and he gets better, and he gets stronger, and he gets faster. And then they have a QB that's ready to go. Instead of taking these rookie QBs, throwing on them into the fire and letting them burn, and then watching their confidence completely get sucked out of them.
I finally have a point to make on this.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback? I think he's a running quarterback.
I do not think Tyrod Taylor
Pull
is
up
a good
Tyrod
quarterback.
Taylor's stats. Because let me just point this out. He's the most efficient quarterback in the history of the NFL. I don't know if anybody realized that his interception to touchdown ratio is the best in the NFL. He's taken the Buffalo Bills to the damn playoffs.
But how many times is he throwing it in a run-heavy offense?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, let me tell you why it doesn't
throwing
matter.
200 times.
How many times are the other guys throwing it and throwing it to the other guy?
Probably 150 more times.
A lot. They're
Yeah.
throwing it a lot to the other guy. Look at Andrew
Look,
Luck.
I'm
Andrew
just-
Luck, all the throwing the Andrew
So
Luck.
you think Tyrod Taylor's a good quarterback?
he's a good quarterback? He's not a great quarterback.
I think if you're gonna have Baker Mayfield sit on the bench, Tyrod Taylor is near the bottom of the guys I want him to take guidance from.
It's not about guidance. He's not taking guidance from Tyrod. He's taking guidance from the coaching staff. He's the quarterback of the future. That's why they drafted him. Everybody knows that.
Baker Mayfield should not play this year.
He should take a seat, learn how to be a pro, and if he ends up having to play, it'll be late in the season, most likely. You know what I mean? So, like, if there's an injury situation or something like that,
Yeah. I mean, the Browns also got Jarvis Landry. They drafted Nick Chubb. They have Carlos Hyde now. And if Josh Gordon can stop smoking weed, they actually have
Josh
a pretty
Gordon has changed his
potent
life.
offense.
Free McMills. He's free.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope, because Josh Gordon's he's unbelievable. He's awesome. But okay, so Tyrod Taylor last year threw for 2,799 yards,
Look at his
14
career
touchdowns,
numbers.
and 4 picks.
His career numbers.
His career numbers. So his completion percentage, is 62%. He's only thrown for 3,000 yards.
I'm just
and
saying,
he's only
go out,
eclipsed. He's never eclipsed 20 touchdowns ever.
I want you to go out here and throw to me right now and see if we hit 62%. Man, it's going to be hard.
From how many yards?
From 30, 20 to 30.
From
That's what
20
he's
throwing. I
throwing.
think I can hit you.
Not 62%.
6 out of 10 times. I guarantee I can hit you.
We know
6
you got
out
to
of 10.
throw 1,000 times.
1,000 times. Bill, I just got in a car accident. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do that yet.
Take a
okay,
breather.
let me trade a
Take a
little
breather.
bit. Okay.
We got to have a
Tyrod
Bill,
Taylor's-
First of all, we got to have a Bill, James, and Tig'S excellent adventure, like physical challenge.
I would love to do that. I don't know if anyone caught my my dunk recently on social media, but
Yes.
that's the kind of skills I'm bringing to the table.
That's
so
the kind of shit we got to bring to the
I haven't seen the
motherfucking
rest
table.
of these guys a dunk attempt, but I like
you should've been-
halfway
you should've
up
been there
to
for
the
Easter.
rim, you possibly thought I was gonna dunk, and then a gust of wind
when
hit
you
really
took off
hard.
the wrong
I dropped
foot,
down.
When you took off the wrong foot, I was pretty sure.
Oh no, I came off the
coming
right.
off.
Pretty
I'm
sure
coming
you
up.
weren't gonna
I
go
come off that left
off.
foot. The left foot when I'm going up.
I
Left
don't-
foot.
I don't
Check it
know
out
if
again.
You should probably go off the right though.
No. I'm a
might have
righty.
shoulda gone off your right.
I'm right heavy. You come off your opposite foot.
Bill.
Come on, man.
You look
Fundamentals.
Come on.
You look
Do I
like
gotta teach you beef?
you look
Balance,
like the ground.
eyes,
You look
elbow,
like the ground,
follow through.
You look like the ground pulled you back down.
Oh no,
took off.
no! I'll put that video up right now. Impressing everybody. I got a lot of good feedback
But-
on that. Anyways, okay, so you would want Tyrod Taylor to be your starting quarterback.
I got 32 quarterbacks to pick. I got to pick Tyrod Taylor. No, I'm saying if I'm sitting with Tyrod Taylor on my team and I got a whole bunch of talented other dudes around him, I'm not mad. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
He's
the
better
Browns.
than Trent Dilfer, and
The
Trent
Browns
Dilfer
are-
won a Super Bowl.
The
He's
Browns
better,
are in the best situation that they've been in a long time.
He's as good as Nick Foles. Only thing Nick Foles could do is throw a deep ball. That's the only thing he's known for. And
He had a good trick play.
well,
I'm just saying that's the only thing he was known for.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And, it's
Also-
Joe Flacco. You can be a one-dimensional quarterback and win a Super Bowl if you got enough talented around.
my left
people
foot
around.
going up right, almost hit the rim. What are you talking about? Everyone relook at that video. It's on
Everybody,
our, it's on our
please,
Instagram page.
and comment. Re-look at it and comment, please.
I am
Put it in- we'll put it in the beginning
fundamentally
of YouTube.
sound on the
I
basketball.
could try to put it in the. I could try. I might be too lazy. For
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay,
I mean, I
anyway,
can do it, but I
so
just might be too
maybe Tyrod Taylor has a great year. I hope he does. For my Browns fans, friends. For my Browns fans, friends. Is that right? Yeah.
For my Browns friends,
Those guys. And I hope Baker Mayfield sits on the bench and starts learning the playbook. And when he's actually ready to go, they get him in there.
So y'all watched the draft, right?
Well, okay. I was working during the draft.
Okay.
My friend brought up a great point. I
watched the draft.
I was talking to him.
I was working on my vacation.
I was talking to him about the draft, and he's a Browns fan, so I wanted to know his opinion on Baker Mayfield. And he was telling me, I'm like, did you watch it? He goes, no. He was like, why would I watch it? Our Cleveland Indians are playing, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing. We actually have like real live sports. Why would you watch somebody pick their team when you can actually watch your team play? I was like, that's a really good way to put that, Chris. That's Chris
that's
James,
what
by
people.
the way.
Yeah, that's what people say with their teams. But there's like 28 other people other teams
That don't have teams to
that.
watch.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting around going, "Hey, man."
Yeah, he was specifically talking about his Cleveland friends that were giving him
Right.
shit for not watching it, so he was just listening to it. But I was working, so I watched it on silent. My big thing, this is my thing with the rookie thing, because I'm a Bears fan. And what we did is we threw Mitch Trubisky into the fire this year when he shouldn't have been thrown in, but we're idiots, and we signed Mike Glennon to a dumb contract because for some reason Ryan Pace thought that he was good. He was the only person never to watch Mike Glennon play, apparently. It's
terrible.
But when Mitch Trubisky played, he wasn't good.
Terrible. He
wasn't good.
Actually, really bad.
Yeah, he was really bad.
It wasn't about being out there too soon, my friend.
No, it was. He didn't know the
No.
playbook yet. He wasn't
No.
ready to play at that level yet.
No. He's not good enough to play at that. That's the worst, maybe the worst pick in the history of the NFL, I think.
Mitch Trubisky?
Oh, my God.
We'll
Gonna
find
be-
out this year, Bill. We'll find out this, Bill.
Yes.
With Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, he has some weapons. And we
Oh.
have Nagy now.
Oh, yes, we will.
Offensive coordinators
yes, we
can
will.
make or break a quarterback. If you have the right offensive coordinator with the right quarterback, they can make you look good.
And also, a lot of quarterbacks get offensive coordinators fired.
This is true, too.
But,
We'll
you know,
see. Anyways. So that's my
Guys got a
problem
bad
with rookie
GM.
QBs.
fact of the matter is, you guys got a bad GM.
Jordan Howard in the 5th round is a pretty great pick. You can't hate on that. And this year we had a really good draft, too.
Who do you think, speaking of the draft, because I don't have time to murder the Bears right now.
Yeah, let's not murder my team right now, coming from the Patriots fans.
Who do you
Okay.
think had the best draft in the NFL draft?
I mean, I can't answer that. I don't have all of the draft picks. The Browns did a pretty good job. They got some.
Browns did a good job. Here, I can bring it up.
The
for you.
Chubb pick is kind of fun for them. You know, like pass on Saquon Barkley, but then possibly get the second best running back in the draft.
I cannot believe that you guys
Think that Barkley's going to be good?
did not watch the NFL draft.
Bill, I was working, so I have to pay my bills because we don't make money doing the podcast. I don't know if you're aware, Bill. We only have 17 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Hold
have
up.
18.
You know why I
we have
didn't watch the
19
draft?
now, actually.
You know why I didn't watch the draft? Because it's a bunch of analysts waiting and just coming up with anything to say about anything and making split decisions on the craziest of trades when they have no idea. The NFL changes so much year to year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like half the teams who didn't make the playoffs made the playoffs, and the half the teams that did make the playoffs don't make the playoffs.
They also aired the draft on a Thursday at 4:00 here in Los Angeles.
Okay, so this is okay. I'm glad
It's
you guys.
the worst time
glad you guys-
to air.
I'm glad
the
you
first round
guys
of the
got
draft.
that out of your system because you guys didn't watch the draft. So now,
Yeah.
from someone who did watch,
I
the
just
draft,
read about the draft because then I just
myself
look at
was
players and I
watching
look
it,
at videos and
eating.
highlight reels.
I was eating shrimp and steak, and a little lobster. I'm not gonna lie.
We just lost half our
It's
followers
amazing.
there.
Yeah,
And I was watching the draft on my phone live, thanks to the ESPN app.
Oh,
And
not a shout out to ESPN
not a
by
shout
any
out.
means.
It was
Not a
just-
shout out.
But
Not
they have a
shout
good
out.
app.
just a tool that I was using. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Patriots are drafting Isaiah Wynn, and also offensive tackle, and
The running back.
the running back Sony Michael or Michelle, I guess.
Oh, the other the
running back.
that ran with Chubb, right? Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with them taking up the two needs that they needed the most. They need somebody to take some pressure off of Brady, and they need an offensive lineman because they lost old buddy at left tackle. Bam, bam. And also coming in second, I'm gonna go with, of course,
The Chicago Bears.
no,
Damn it.
and not the Browns. Browns fans, calm down. Calm down.
I was just trying to give some love to the Browns.
I'm going to give some love to the Atlanta Falcons. Going and getting another weapon for
Wide receiver.
underperforming Matt Ryan. Got Calvin Ridley.
There was a lot of talk that the Bears were going to get him, but I'm glad we didn't because instead we stacked up on defense and
I'm glad you didn't too. I'm glad you didn't too.
Bill,
don't take
easy,
Calvin
easy.
Ridley. Y'all don't draft a wide receiver if you don't have a quarterback.
Okay, all right.
Bad
We're not
decision.
going to. Well, okay, we could talk about Mitch Trubisky once I watch him play a full season under Mike Nagy. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys not having the worst. Having the worst.
Yeah, what did the Cowboys do that pissed everybody off?
They lost Des Bryant.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. As
Yeah, I'm good with
yeah,
Dez.
I think it was time for Des.
But they didn't draft anybody.
Well, you
But
heard
they didn't
it here
replace him with
first.
anyone.
right.
right?
They didn't pay. They haven't done anything.
How are you ready to get rid of Des Bryant and not make a move to get Allen Robinson?
Haven't done anything. It's ridiculous.
Des
pretty
Bryant.
But fuck that, because it's time to move on to the NBA.
He's on fire! He's on fire!
Thank you very much. Playoffs, you motherfuckers, you clowns.
You clowns. You clowns is the word of the day. Like
clowns.
Pee Wee Herman's playing. Clowns go.
You.
Why didn't the Cavs go 2-for-1 there?
No. This is not important.
Okay,
We're
so
about- we're gonna talk about
the first
of all,
round is done.
It's done. It's over.
He's heating up. The best series was the Cavs Pacers. Unfortunately, my Pacers did lose. It's very frustrating. It's really hard for me to talk about this because we've been gone for so long. So there's so
let's
many
not talk
emotions
about
that I
it.
went
Let's not
through.
talk about it. Let's talk about the Spurs got dropped out, and now where do you think Kawhi Leonard's gonna be? Do you think he's gonna do a sign and
Oh, we're
trade?
gonna go there. Okay. Honestly, I was talking about the first round, and I couldn't remember who Golden State beat in the first round, and that is where the Spurs are at now.
Man,
which
that
is
wasn't
so
the
sad.
Spurs. That was the B team.
Yeah. And you know, but it's sad because the Spurs have always been like my Western Conference team that I've always like rooted for, and the fact that I forgot that they're in the playoffs this year was really sad.
But LaMarcus Aldridge had a
Man, he
terrific
balled out.
season.
He balled, and he had a terrific playoffs.
And
he
yeah.
just didn't
I
have
mean,
no
there's
help.
only so much you can do.
But look, Kawhi, also Popovich's Popovich's wife died.
Yeah.
Like, so the question was about Kawhi. Do you think Kawhi Leonard is going to
leave.
leave, do a sign and trade? Well, it'd have to be a sign and trade. It wouldn't be.
Well, he's
not. He
1
has,
year left on his contract.
Right. He
But
has
then
to
he'll
play.
they'll do the he's not re-signing, whatever. But we said the same thing about Paul George this season.
So I'm saying, do you think he'll be in the same uniform. No, everybody knew the Pacers were going to trade Paul George because they were trying to trade him at the trading block. Do you think that the Spurs are going to trade Kawhi Leonard? Because that's what has to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You think they're going to trade him?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to trade him.
I think he's going to force them to trade them.
I don't think they're going to trade him.
I
You
think
know
his,
why I know?
I think his people are going to force the Spurs to trade Kawhi Leonard.
You know why? Because you guys ain't been doing your research. Yeah.
No, I did.
I did a lot of
I did
research.
a lot of research on that, actually.
Because I
And
think he's going to
it's
the
a mess.
Lakers.
Ramona
it's a
Shelburne just did a report this afternoon.
Oh, where nothing conclusive was said?
where she just said,
There's an
that-
actual injury.
"Are you ready?"
Hit me.
She said that actually, contrary to popular belief, Popovich and Kawhi Leonard have been communicating this entire time.
Yeah,
and that
Pop's been texting him.
And Popovich and Kawhi Leonard have been talking since his wife died.
Great.
They have been in great communication and still have a wonderful relationship. This problem lies within Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, who, if you saw anything from this last playoff series, they will not be re-signed. I mean, there's no way they're going to pick up any options with those two players when they're literally just depleted. They were a hindrance in this series, even though Ginobili had a couple of games where he showed up a little bit, but nothing. He only had one game where he really helped them win.
So that's what's keeping Kawhi off the court?
No, Kawhi is actually hurt. Kawhi is really injured. He disagrees with the medical staff, but that's not something that
He has like this condition. Apparently, this is what I was reading about, where his muscle is not like rebuilding correctly. It's actually doing the opposite. So he'll
Right,
play a
which
game
is what-
with no pain.
which is
2
what-
days later he'll be in serious pain, and that's why they had to shut him down.
which is
because-
exactly what Isaiah Thomas was going through with his hip. He actually was having his hip deteriorate, and he didn't know it. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Then
know,
they got rid of him.
well, that's all later. But I'm just saying he ended up playing with it as to where he could have healed and let it heal and come back.
What about Kawhi's people that are trying to
That's all-
actively
that's
get him into
all-
a bigger
that's-
market so they can all make money off of him?
Exactly. That's all hearsay, man. That's all people talking. That's all media shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
I think
building
it's
up
actually
something to
going
talk
on,
about.
though. I don't think it's all hearsay. I think that's actually
What it is to
happening.
make sure, because this is the thing. The Spurs have a history of lowballing players, period, asking you to take less. They are before the end of this season, they had planned on asking him to take less. Before the beginning of the season, they had planned on asking him to take less.
There's no way Kawhi's going to take less.
Not at this point. They know that now. But, they probably thought they could convince him to take less because he's quiet. This is all a play. You have to play. It's just like we were talking about before the show. LeBron James takes 1-year contracts. Why? Because he's trying to play his biggest play. He's trying to
get that max.
bid teams against each other so he can get the max amount of money that he can get for 1 year. Because he knows if he does that over 5 years, it makes the team unable to go out and get other players and put them around him. Kawhi is kind of doing the same thing. He's just making sure that they come at him with that max because he's going to get $219 million. And there's not a player. Popovich told LaMarcus Aldridge to his face he was not going to trade him for nobody less than Kevin Durant. So who do you think he's going to trade Kawhi Leonard for? He ain't trading Kawhi Leonard for nobody. He ain't trading. Kawhi Leonard have to sit there and not play all next season, which will just make him lose money going into his contract year because people will be worried about is he actually injured.
I can see Popovich trading Kawhi for multiple players and draft picks easily. It's the Spurs. Popovich has the ability to coach a team to championships without a said superstar.
He didn't trade LaMarcus Aldridge, who is way.
He
less
brought
of
him
a
in to play with Kawhi.
Because LaMarcus Aldridge everyone thought he was done.
Yeah.
No,
He had a
he
off
wouldn't
year.
trade. He told him he wouldn't trade him because he's an excellent player, and he wouldn't trade him for less than Kevin Durant, LeBron James, somebody like that, Stephen Curry.
Yeah,
But-
because
told
no
him-
one
he
would
said
even
these
offer
things.
that because they thought it was like, oh, clearly he's
You guys,
washed.
I think you guys. Are
So you think Kawhi's going to be with the Spurs next year?
he has no choice?
Is Pop going to be with the
contractually.
Spurs next year?
Yes.
Is Pop going to retire?
Who said anything about that?
I can see Pop retiring. He's been talking about it constantly.
No.
His
No.
wife just died too.
No, I don't know. No,
I can see Pop being tired of it.
no.
Either way, it's not up to Pop what to trade him or not.
It is. He's the GM.
Is he really?
You got.
Pop is the GM, the Spurs.
He runs basketball operations, so he is the guy who decides what's going to happen.
Well, he runs the risk of if
He
Kawhi.
Popovich does all of this shit. That's why he had to go to Popovich to ask him for a trade. You don't go to the GM. You ask Popovich because Popovich run the shit.
Well, if he doesn't, then he runs the risk of losing Kawhi for nothing and losing out pretty much. He'll probably not make the playoffs next year with this ragtag group. Plus,
Oh no! If
Aldridge.
Kawhi was on this group, man, they would have gone probably 7 games with the.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if Kawhi's on the
Next year-
Spurs,
Next year, if he sits out, whatever, trying to force his hand, then they're definitely not making the playoffs. And then after that,
They made the playoffs without him all. He played 9 games this season. They made the playoffs. See, that's what Speaking of which, that's a good segue. Going because people don't believe in teams if they don't have a superstar on their team.
that's not true. The Spurs never really had a superstar. I
They
believe in
don't-
the Spurs.
but no
without a
people don't
superstar.
ever really believe in the Spurs, and they're always mad when they make it to the finals.
I always believe in the Spurs.
Just like the Celtics, Brad Stevens Celtics are fucking tearing up the league. It's ridiculous. They're
playing- yeah.
made it past the first round.
Scary Terry. Did you guys know that was his nickname?
Yeah, I knew it was his nickname.
no
if
idea
you're
that
a
was
point
his
guard
nickname.
on the Celtics, you will have a career season if you're starting.
Possibly, but
If it's not Kyrie,
Terry Rozier has handles. Did you see him put them? He put them things on him, went in his bag and
I mean,
went behind his
do
back.
they even need Kyrie Irving if they got Scary Terry?
Of course they need him because Kyrie got to take a break.
it's like the Eagles. If you lose a quarterback, you have another superstar quarterback, and now you have a lot of trade chips.
Yeah, as long as Scary Terry's fine with coming off the bench.
Terry Rozier is fine coming off the bench. He's been coming off the bench since 2015.
Yeah, but now he has just arrived, and
Oh, man, he'll
he's
be
crushing
just-
it.
he'll
the
be
problem
just
is, okay,
fine.
first off, that Boston team's not going to beat anyone in the West in the finals. So I hope they actually don't get through. They're not going to beat the Warriors, and they're not going to beat Houston.
Well, they just beat the 76ers.
The Sixers,
in
who
the
are
first
super
game.
young, and I think they have some issues.
76ers look so young in that game. They look so like every time a shot would go
It was
in, they would go
crazy.
like this. Oh, the shoulders would just drop down.
They had way too much time off. I don't even think they were ready to play. I was really shocked. And Boston was just like riding momentum at that point.
And I think Ben Simmons just looks like that, like a really sad giraffe. And then he dunks. And
That's a
then
great point. That's a great point. Sorry, I choked off some weed. That's a great point. But I was talking about Embiid.
Oh, okay.
Every time that ball go down into the basket, this motherfucker would be like, ugh. Like, come on. Can they stop hitting baskets, please? And that's
Well-
not good with a young team,
Yeah.
Everybody
Well-
getting this.
I have Boston winning one game in this series. And then I
think I
have
had them
Philly
winning two.
winning the rest.
And they're
Which-
in Boston.
Yeah, that was the game that I think that Boston was going to win. They were going to win one at home, I think. I think Philly's going to get back to where they're at. They
And
got get back into their fluid and their motion, and I think they're going to beat Boston for the rest of the series.
You know who's a really underrated player? JJ Redick. That dude just knows basketball. He knows how to get open, and he knows how to just come off screens really nicely. And I hope he gets re-signed next year because he's on a 1-year contract right now.
Did he have a good game last game?
He was the only one hitting shots when
Nobody
they were
had a
down
good
15.
game. They shot like 13% from 3-point line, 19% from the 3-point line.
19%.
Yeah, the whole
terrible.
team sucked.
Yeah,
So that's not going to
I'm talking
happen
about the whole
again.
team.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it will happen if the Celtics keep running all of their shooters off the line and just making Ben Simmons
I mean,
shoot
Embiid
from
had a really
3-point.
good game. What are
Because
we talking about?
yeah, they just.
He was 12 for 21.
I said 19%
points and
from the
13
3-point line, and Joel Embiid had that many points, and they lost by how much?
They lost
That's
by,
the point.
Lost by 16.
Exactly. That's the point.
Covington did not hit a shot the entire game.
He had a J.R. Smith game.
So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
look, we all picked the 76ers to win, but I am rooting
For Boston.
for
the
Boston
upset.
to beat the 76ers. Why? Because everybody thinks that this shit is just like good. I'm not good with this. These guys haven't played this much basketball before ever in their lives, you know?
The 76ers?
The 76ers. Yeah, I mean, they're just showing up these guys who were just in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I mean, these guys are getting disrespected. The number 2 seed in the playoffs, getting disrespected. Just like, see, man, I'm segueing the fuck out of this. Just like the Toronto Raptors, who just lost
Who just lost
to
at
the
home.
Cleveland Cavaliers,
The
game
LeBron
1.
Jameses.
Yeah, to the LeBron. Let's call them the LeBron Jameses. Let's not call them the Cleveland Cavaliers. 'Cause it's the LeBron Jameses.
Man, I'm not going to call them
Who's
the
your favorite
LeBron
team?
Jameses.
LeBron Jameses?
I'm not calling them that. They're the Cavaliers. They're the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, you call them what you want.
But I will call the Raptors the Purple Dinosaurs. I will call them the Barneys.
The Barneys. Let's call them the Barneys, man.
Because they're fucking
They're
garbage.
going to do exactly what
They just fucking broke
I thought they were
down
gonna do.
again.
I mean,
Kyle
I'm shocked.
Lowry, in that one play, they were up one. They were up. It was up 2. They were up 2 points. 1 minute and 21 seconds left to go. Kyle Lowry gets the ball, gets trapped in the corner. How do you dribble yourself to the corner? You're a professional, all-star point guard.
Kyle Lowry loves the corner. You go into a room, Kyle Lowry's going to be sitting in the corner by himself.
He dribbled himself into the corner.
They call him the Blair Witch Project. He's
Kyle Lowry's the Blair Witch Project. Just boogers coming down his face.
It's like, how do you do that, Kyle Lowry? Come on, man.
Because he always does it. He always does this in the playoffs.
That's his safe zone.
And
is
then,
it.
then he gets trapped, and then it's, what, was it jump ball? It was terrible. That was terrible. That was a terrible play. Terrible play.
I think the Tristan Thompson starting, or at least getting a lot of playing time, is paying dividends.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just said that wrong. It wasn't a jump ball. He threw the ball to Serge Ibaka, who did what he got traded out of Oklahoma City for. He shot a 3 from the top of the key and clanked it off the left back of the rim.
Biyombo is supposedly supposed to be a huge part for this team. I'll be honest, I don't really watch a lot of the Raptors. I don't see the special deal with Bismack. Is it Bismack Biyombo?
It's Bismack. I'm good, very good, very good, very good. No, yeah, he's terrible.
I mean, I feel like he's just a big Reggie Evans.
Ooh, Reggie Evans. I thought you were going to say Tom Havlicek.
Havlicek? Is it?
Wait, why are you guys talking about Bismack?
Because he's garbage. We're just saying that he's not good as people make him out to be.
Oh.
As is Serge Ibaka, which is basically where power forwards and centers who are not good go to dies. Where fucking, but you know
Where's
Valanciunas-
Bismack playing now? Where is he?
Is he on the?
Bismack's not on the Raptors, guys.
I meant fucking Serge Ibaka. I meant,
So I was so
My bad,
confused.
my
I'm like,
bad.
did I miss something here?
my bad. I don't
Serge-
see what the big deal is about Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
He has like a few really good games during the season, and that's about it.
And he's probably the most muscular guy, one of the top 5 most muscular guys.
Him and Russell Westbrook are probably the most guys.
Did you guys pick Cavs to pick the series?
I got the Cavs in 5 in this series.
Well, I think I got him in 6.
And this is why I don't want Boston to win. Because I would want to watch the Cavs versus Philadelphia, just from an entertainment standpoint. And what sucks is I wanted Boston Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals if the Pacers weren't going to be there to watch Kyrie versus LeBron. And now that that's gone, for a storyline, I just
see.
like Philly versus the Cavs. And this whole idea that LeBron might be going to Philadelphia,
Exactly.
you know, is kind of fun to watch.
If he goes to 76ers,
People are talking about Kawhi going to the Sixers.
people saying anyone can go to the Sixers. People think Paul George is going to the Sixers.
Paul George,
You know why,
is Paul
right?
George going to the 76ers?
Is it any surprise to you that the NBA team that is basically being run up until last year by the NBA is being promoted and pushed out there as a team that everybody wants to go to? All of a sudden, when did Philadelphia become the destination? play for everybody. They want to play.
No, it's funny. They're talking about like the attendance outside of this year and how it was like the bottom of the league,
Right.
And suddenly all the Philly fans are out and about and talking shit to people, and they're like, "Where were you guys during the process? No one was there for the process."
Well, as
and
they
now
shouldn't
that
have been,
they're
because
in
they
the
should have
playoffs.
lowered the prices of the tickets.
Are tickets expensive?
Yeah. So if you're gonna, an NBA game is ridiculous to go see, and if you're gonna have a tanking situation at your stadium, L.A. Lakers, Clippers, you need to fucking say, hey, I'm gonna lower the motherfucking prices. I'm gonna say, look, it's gonna be $25 to get into this game.
I feel like Clippers tickets are affordable, aren't they?
Now that Chris Paul and Blake Griffin are gone.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
getting
but
like $30
they're
tickets
actively- they're
10
actively-
rows back
Yeah.
behind the bench of the Clippers with just Blake there, though.
Yeah, but that was before Chris Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're tanking, lower your prices. You're talking about the Clippers before the Clippers were. You're talking about the racist Clippers.
Baron Davis.
I'm talking about the racist Clippers. Yeah.
I don't. People always say like, "Oh, you weren't." I'm okay with the 76ers now going. It's like if my team sucks, why would I go? People always say, "Oh, I suffered with them. I suffered with the Lakers in the 90s." Really? you didn't have to. They don't know who you are, and you shouldn't be fighting for
They
it.
And they didn't pay
Appreciate
you
me.
for it. They're
Yeah.
not gonna recompensate you for this motherfucking suffering.
I'm glad.
You can't sue them for it.
Yeah, I'm glad you got some championships, but you didn't have to suffer for it. You could just show up when they started playing well.
Right. I don't
that's
ever
just
brag
me.
about suffering as a sports fan. As a Patriots fan, I go, yeah, eat it. Eat a dick. We win. I don't. Alabama fan, I don't talk about when we lost. I just talk about when we won. We had a lot of losing years, but that's no reason to talk about. Don't talk about those things.
Who gives a fuck about a loser?
Exactly. Fuck that shit. Speaking of losers,
Yeah, we have to talk about these other games, too.
gotta talk about. Man, first of all, we gotta talk about the Pacers.
I
I
don't
told
even
you-
know if we have time to talk about the Pacers.
We're gonna touch it quick because I said the Cleveland Cavaliers was gonna win that series if they started Jose Calderon and Tristan Thompson, and they did.
I
And
think
they
you
won.
just said Jose Calderon. I
No,
don't
I said
think you
Tris-
said
I-
Tristan
yeah,
Thompson.
because
Yeah,
we all agreed
Calderon
that,
sucked.
but they started him, and it's about the continuity of the offense. It's about the ball not stopping, and it's about
The Cavs
The
won
balls.
that because Sabonis and Bogdanovich didn't show up for Game 7. They were terrible. If they would have hit
those are the guys that
4
needed to
shots,
start.
they only hit 3 shots between themselves for 20 shots. That's a major problem for the Pacers. We've had multiple games like this. If Oladipo showed up for one more game,
No,
the
if-
series is done.
The series was done in Game 2 if Oladipo hit the open three.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe
That
they
is
missed
when the
that.
series was supposed to be done. It wasn't supposed to get to 7. If the game was actually fairly
We're
close.
not even going to talk about the goaltending game either. We can't.
I'm not going to talk about any of the games that specifically because it's over.
It's done. It's done. It's done.
But so
I've never been so frustrated watching a series in my entire life. It was the number one highest rated first round NBA playoff series of all time.
Also, we
As it
talked
should have
about how. So speaking of not showing up, we talked about C.J. McCollum. If he don't show up,
I
Not gonna be
completely
no-
forgot the Trailblazers got swept.
swept.
Did we talk about this yet?
No, we haven't talked about it.
Another
so long.
overrated
It's been
team.
so long.
They're gone fishing.
Portland. What's going to happen to that team?
They got to blow it up.
They have to. It didn't work.
That's
It's not
what
working.
3 or 4 years of C.J. McCollum and,
do you
and
trade?
Damian Lillard. Definitely not Lillard.
McCollum.
And if there's
you
a
have
team dumb enough to overpay for McCollum, you pounce on that.
Oh, there will be many teams.
Nobody's gonna overpay anything. They're just gonna trade players. Although they do trade money in the NBA, so
Paul George, the
you never
Portland.
know what could happen.
Paul George of Portland?
Is that even a possibility?
No, good. So let's talk about that immediately.
Okay, OKC.
OKC.
Let's get into OKC.
No, let's just talk about Paul George.
Can I say one thing about OKC?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you say whatever you like.
People are blaming Melo. I think Game 5 of Westbrook's Game 5 was amazing. He was responsible for 2 of those losses before Game 5. This dude was going crazy, just barreling through Utah, trying to win the game himself, and it backfired. When you try to go 1,000 miles per hour against a smart defensive team and a team that has a lot to lose, they're going to take a charge. They have Rudy Gobert to clog up the lane. It turns into a turnover, which turns into a fast break for the Jazz.
All of those charges were blocking fouls. I mean, Google it.
I mean, I was about to
you
say-
bring it up because if you were watching the game,
That-
all of those were blocks. Those were all of his feet were moving.
The Westbrook versus Rubio game, those fouls they called on Westbrook were absolute bullshit.
Absolute bullshit.
They completely turned the game.
That was actually complete bullshit.
The blocking, they called the foul, the cleanest block I've ever seen in my entire life. They called a foul on Westbrook just because he talked shit. And the refs wanted to call fouls on
that
him.
was all that was. And if in all of the losses, the one player people keep beating up on is Carmelo, but Paul George did not show up in any of those losses.
After playoff
What
P
happened
designated
is-
himself
Exactly.
as playoff P, he was not there.
What happened is Paul George did what he does in every playoff series. He showed up since he broke his leg. He just can't get off. First of all, he can't get the lift that he used to get. That dude used to be an explosive player. He can't get the lift that he used to get. Paul George is a great player still, but that's neither here nor there. I think he's got no chance at getting any money from anybody else more than what he can get at OKC. Because I want you to read those numbers right there to the people.
So this is Paul George's projected max contract options. So the Thunder can offer him 5 years, $175.7 million. So that is $35.1 million a year. The other teams, every other team in the league, this is what they can offer him. 4 years, $130.3 million, $32.6 million a year. So he'd be missing out on a little less than $3 million a year. But if you're already rich as shit and you want to win a championship,
And you don't want to get ousted in the first round again with Melo sucking and Westbrook going psycho.
you'll take the pay cut on the $3
Melo
million.
is getting bought out. They are
You
gonna
think they're going to buy him out?
man, yes, because
They're stuck with him, right?
Let me tell you, he already signed his buyout. He said, I'm not sacrificing to come off the bench. He said that. So what I guarantee you, the first thing Sam Presti, the GM, did was call up Melo. He said, come on, hey man, let's get your family. Flew his family out and got them all to dinner. He said, we want you to come off the bench. I guarantee you that's the first thing they did.
Melo should come off the bench.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you. And you know what
Isaiah Thomas said the same thing, and he ended up coming off the bench.
You know what that sets them up to do? Buy him out. Because if he's gonna say he's not gonna come off the bench, he's gonna ask for his $28 million right now.
Him and
be on
Joakim
his
Noah
way.
are just going to be hanging out in
Well, they're
Vegas
not gonna
together
pay him the full
and
$28
officially
million.
on a team, but not there.
They wouldn't pay him the $28 million. No. It wouldn't be that type of situation.
Oh, okay.
It would be a buyout.
How much would
Joakim-
it take to buy him out?
Probably around 20. He's got 28 left on there, so it'd probably be around 20.
Jeez.
I say just let him sit on the bench and not start him at all if he's not going to come off the bench, and then he'll learn just like Isaiah Thomas did.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas's agent, Cavs, he's not coming off the bench. Came off the bench. 90% of the games he played.
Yeah, he's not Carmelo Anthony either.
He's better.
Isaiah Thomas Jr. is better than Carmelo Anthony.
Absolutely. I would take Isaiah Thomas over Melo.
I just couldn't because
You need
he
to
can't
go
play
look
defense.
up those stats.
Not
You need
that
to go
Melo
look up
can
those.
play defense, but at least
You need to go look
he's
up those
not a
stats.
instant mismatch on.
We don't have enough
He's a ball
time to go
stopper.
in.
He's a ball stopper.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay.
Isaiah Thomas is an ultimate ball stopper. That's why he got traded from Cleveland. He was
goes to
stopping the
basket.
ball.
He goes to the basket.
Oh yeah, he goes to the basket.
Ah, he was a top
Isaiah
Isaiah
five.
Thomas had one good year as a Celtic under Brad Stevenson's offense, and he has had a terrible years before that and terrible years since. He will continue to be terrible because that's who he is.
Melo's been terrible for 5 years.
Melo is a Hall of Famer.
I mean, I have major issues with Melo.
He's
And
not.
I'm just thinking about which
I
player
got major
would-
issues
I
with
would
Melo,
take
but he's not
over.
better than Isaiah. I mean, he's not worse than Isaiah Thomas.
I can't say like
That's an
Isaiah Thomas is
absolute
better than
ridiculous.
Melo just because.
No, this year, who would you rather have?
This year,
Yeah.
God, I think I still take Melo.
All right.
Just because Isaiah Thomas literally can't guard anybody. But
Neither can Melo.
But this is the difference. Isaiah Thomas being willing to be coming off the bench
only thing-
is actually
no.
a better asset than Melo making you start him.
The only thing Melo did good in the Jazz series is play defense on Jay Crowder. That was the only thing he
Crowder
did.
had great games.
He had okay games for Jay Crowder. I mean, 12 points. Like, I mean, he also had a couple of plays. He had a lot of plays where I seen him getting blocked by Melo. I mean, Melo was out there stealing and blocking. He was playing good defense. It was just he could not make a shot. That dude shot like 12% from 3 or some shit like that. Like, he did not make one jumper that wide. He was getting wide open jumpers. So, I just think he's just washed. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole point. They're going to buy him out just like Chicago bought out Dwayne Wade, and everybody said they wouldn't do it. They're going to buy him out, pay him like $20 million off that 28 and get out of there.
Game 5, when they were down 25, after Westbrook was barreling through, it wasn't until he stopped, started taking his mid-range game and slowing up the fast breaks, that's when they came back. Should have played like that the whole series.
My problem with Westbrook is the dude plays like LeBron James. He don't have enough around him to play like LeBron James. He don't have like
Talking about Westbrook.
Yeah, he don't have like just straight up shooters around him like that. So that's my problem.
They
with
thought
him.
they were bringing him straight up shooters with Melo and Paul George.
Right.
That did
But
not.
that
did not work.
Paul George, like Skip Bayless says, he's George Paul. I mean,
Paul-
he's not a superstar player. Like he's just a really good player.
I mean, Paul George is responsible for them losing that last game. He was 2 for 16. That's insane.
2 for 16,
insane.
my G.
He,
I can get you four shots.
I mean, I could hit just as many threes as Paul George hit in that game.
0.
Easily. 0. It was 0. I would crush that stat.
Should move on to Cavs.
Yeah, let's move on. Well, we already talked about the Cavs Pacers.
Okay.
We already talked about Cavs Toronto. We've already talked about everything.
Did we? Did we talk about Houston? Did we talk about my boys Houston that are
We
going to win
didn't
the NBA
talk
Finals?
about Houston.
And the Jazz.
I mean, there's nothing exciting yet.
Yeah, we're still.
Do you
waiting.
guys think Utah has a chance to beat Houston in
Bill
the series?
does.
I mean,
How did Bill choose? Oh, Bill, you chose Utah to beat Houston?
yeah, man. I got
Oh, that's right, because you don't trust my dream.
No. It had nothing to do with your dream. It had very little to do with your dream. It's more about James Harden and how he played in the first round, which really wasn't that good. He had 2 really good games, but
They did their jobs.
the other 2 games he was absent. People keep talking about the 2 guys, Chris Paul, James Harden.
Capella?
No. But, Chris Paul and James Harden, they're how they work together. But they really don't. They don't have but like 16 points all season assisted to each other. They don't really work together. I don't really see it working really well when they go to play like a Golden State. And Ricky Rubio is a lot of the reason that the Jazz are having trouble because he's hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
Take away
has
your
a lot
point
to
guard
do
and-
with.
Yeah, that happens.
Because, I mean, Ricky Rubio, shout out to him, he's playing out of his motherfucking mind. Went out into the Ozarks somewhere and found his ass a motherfucking 3-point shot. Found him a jumper, period.
I mean, the problem is that that's not going to last with Ricky Rubio.
Well, he's hurt, so you can't.
It didn't last.
Yeah, he's
He
hurt.
did. And honestly, the next game after that awesome game against Westbrook, he didn't have a great game. He was like 4 for 12 or some shit like that. And
But,
Westbrook actually did shut him down, despite being out of the game for most of it.
And it had
More
nothing to
fouls
do.
right
That
away.
had nothing to do with the loss. It had more so to do with the fact that Westbrook was in foul trouble and had to play passive the rest of the game.
I think it has to do
And
with
Paul
Gobert.
George was garbage. And Rudy Gobert, yeah.
Shut down Steve
Shut
Adams. And Steve Adams was a
No,
major reason that
He
that
didn't
team
shut
was
down
successful.
Steven Adams. Steven Adams was the only person. Go back and look at the tape. He was the only person underneath the boards every time.
Yeah,
there
but he
was a-
couldn't score.
But that's because he's the only person underneath every single. They were collapsing on the paint. That was their offense. They were making sure Paul George and Westbrook didn't drive,
And that they couldn't do that pick and roll with Steve Adams.
No, but Steve Adams wasn't even a part of this because the only way he gets open is just people going out. Nobody was going out to the perimeter. Everybody was staying in.
Because Rudy was staying down there.
But it's more of the team thing.
Because they could sag off Melo.
Exactly. Melo had all the open shots, and if he was knocking down shots, they win. Paul George got the problem with Paul George's shots, he took all his shots, open or contested, from 3-point line. Like, he took all them shots from the 3-point line. He was just.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Rudy because I thought he was a huge factor in that series.
He's a part of their. He's a big part of the way their defense works.
Steven
Rudy
Adams
Gobert.
literally was
Rudy
non-existent
Gobert.
though offensively, and he's usually a huge part of that offense.
That has a lot to do with Paul George scoring.
I understand that, but Rudy also had a great game against Steve Adams.
He had a great game against Paul George, in my mind, more so than Steve Adams, because Paul George can't drive. It doesn't open up what Steve Adams is able to do. If Westbrook can't drive, he had a great defensive game overall. It didn't have nothing to do with what he did against Steven Adams.
I think it had a lot to do with
because they don't go to Steven Adams like that. They do.
They do.
During
the
they don't go to him in the
season,
post.
Steve Adams, we talked
one-on-one.
about it.
Yeah, but it's all off of action. It's not off of like they don't run straight pick and roll for him. It's off of.
I think they do run straight.
They don't run
for
straight
Steve
pick and roll for Steve Adams. It's off of this a pick and roll for them to drive to the basket, and then if they collapse, they go to him sometimes. He gets most of his points. He averages like 4 offensive rebounds a game. He gets most of his points getting their misses. He gets cleanup buckets, man. The reason, and he couldn't get any cleanup buckets because there was 3 guys on him every time. They're shooting 3-pointers the majority of the time, and every single time go back and look, every single time he's there by himself. He's going up for a rebound with one hand every single time because he's got 2-3 guys.
I bet you Rudy's standing right next to him.
Rudy and 3 other people, Favors and Mitchell. Most of the time, it was those 3.
Yeah, without Rudy there, though, Steve Adams probably gets the
can't-
rebound.
Where is your if Carmelo is playing the 3-pointer, if he's shooting from the 3, he's playing the perimeter.
Yeah.
Who's getting the rebounds? It was even hard for Russ to get rebounds. Russ didn't get his
OKC just fucked up because everyone's just sitting out on the 3-point line.
OKC fucked up because Paul George couldn't drive. He got scared because he couldn't drive because he ain't got that explosiveness that he used to have. Started getting happy with that 3-pointer. Tried to go back to playoff P, and it never popped back up.
And I say Rudy Gobert was, again, instrumental because
he
Westbrook was not afraid to drive, but he went into a wall and he caused a turnover a lot.
Right. Same with Paul George. Paul George would go into it, but they were looking for fouls, and they should have got a lot
Rudy
of fouls.
Gobert had a huge impact.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
All right.
I didn't. No. You said against Steven Adams, and I said
He did a great job against Steven Adams.
That didn't
huge
have nothing
part.
to do with it. That he didn't have nothing.
Anyways, okay, all right. So Utah beat OKC for many reasons.
Sure.
Many.
Not a
reasons.
good
I
team.
think it's because
Many
Rudy
reasons.
Gobert shut down the paint. Nobody could drive,
He did that too.
but Steven Adams don't drive to the paint.
He did a lot. He did a lot of stuff. And Steve Adams does run off that pick and roll a lot.
And Mitchell was Mitchell.
And Donovan Mitchell was very impressive for a young man.
A rookie.
We'll see. We'll see how this works out with Houston, though.
Y'all think the Pelicans got a shot?
No.
For one game, yeah.
I'll give the Pelicans one game against Golden State.
Well, that's it, you motherfuckers.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
We ran out of time.
I mean,
This is
shit.
what happens when we take a week off and we don't
Had a
see
lot to
each other.
say.
So much
Had a
to
lot
say.
Yeah, man, shit, man.
What do you think?
This is probably the longest episode ever.
Oh my goodness.
No. It's not gonna be.
It's not the longest because we had to cut out so much from the beginning. Well, hopefully you guys didn't forget about us, and thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate all the listens.
Much love. We'll be back next week to
We
see how the rest of these playoffs pan out here. Mm-hmm. I still have Houston to win in the NBA Finals at this point, even more so than ever.
And I still have the Cavs winning the finals.
Woo! Bill?
Never lost.
Oh yeah, because your team's out.
I mean, I picked the OKC Thunder out of going out on limbs.
Yeah.
What good is it? What good is it if we all pick?
Well, okay, so let's give you a
Warriors and the
team now
Cavs.
because both of our teams are still in it.
Oh,
Who are you? Like at this point, who do you think is going to win the finals?
I mean, I would go with Golden State. Period.
That's yeah.
I mean,
All right.
I would not go with Houston.
Keep laughing at me. Just
I
wait.
wouldn't
Just
do
wait
that.
till it happens. I can't wait till it happens.
We've been wrong before.
We have been wrong.
Who are the best defensive teams left in the league?
Houston, Golden State.
You didn't
Not
name
the
them in
Cavs.
order.
What's that?
You didn't name them in order.
Those are the
it's
two best
Golden
defensive
State.
teams.
Golden State.
Houston's defense is great too.
I would say the
Houston's
Pelicans.
defense is not great.
It is.
No, it is not. They're giving up a shit ton of points.
Like 101 points a game.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton of points.
No, it's really good. If you're going to hold a team to 100 points, how much is Golden State giving up? Under 100?
No, they've been getting held to under 100, and so that means they are holding teams to under 100 because they played the best defensive team in the league as far as win shares go. I mean, point shares, whatever the fuck they call it.
I say the Pelicans are.
Okay, the Rockets are allowing 100.7 points a game. That's a good defense. That's a pretty good defense. That's pretty good, especially when you're scoring 112 a game.
Especially when you're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I mean, it works out in their favor. That they got, I am really sad that Westbrook is out because I do like
Playing
watching him
against a
lot.
dude, the star of the team's got no ACLs or whatever, like playing on his kneecaps or some
What?
shit.
So wait, what happened to Big Rick?
Who?
Ricky Rubio.
I don't know. He's hurt. we ended the podcast a long time ago.
I know. Well, now we have more stuff to talk about. I'm
Fucking
not done.
go.
I'm not done.
Get out of here, y'all.
I'm not done.
No, we're
Okay,
done.
so for the record, Houston gives up 3 more points a game than the Warriors. But those are the 2 best defensive teams in left.
That's right, you punk ass bitches. we love y'all so much. We go in hard on you. We go in so hard.
Hey, check us out on Twitter if you get a chance, guys.
Give us a follow.
At Bill James and Tig's Excellent Adventure. Is that our Twitter channel?
no, it's
Bill
at Bill
James and Tig.
Yeah, at Bill James and Tig.
At Bill
And
James
that's
and
our
Tig.
Twitter. That's our Instagram.
That's all of it. Check out our Twitter page, and then you can get all of our funny quotes that we post.
That's right.
It's dangerous out there, though, guys.
It
I'm
is
not gonna
dangerous.
We're still alive though.
lie. We made it.
Yeah, come at us if you dare.
We got into our first Twitter war.
Come on.
But that's
Come on.
neither here
Come get
nor
it.
there.
We're out.
Later.
JL15 started yesterday, but us as Americans too busy being entertained by the sports and movies and the scandals. Now they even care. All this is a genesis, the martial law everywhere. Population.